We need to get away from this idea that my job, my basic salary, is what gives me security. The problem, or one of the biggest problems, is we've been taught since school days that what you do and what you earn has to be connected to one another. If you work, you get paid. If you don't work, you don't get paid. You get paid for the hours you work. Work hard, work long hours. And the problem is that is so limiting. I looked at, the other day I did a calculation. I can't remember the exact figures, but bear with me, it's in the ballpark. If you look at somebody who becomes a billionaire in 10 years, if that person just had to earn money per hour, if he worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, he would have to earn over 10,000 Rand an hour for every hour of his life to earn R1 billion over 10 years.
And I don't know that many people that earn that amount of money per hour.
And do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So how do these people become billionaires? They use leverage. They make use of the power of other people's efforts. So we need to get away from this idea that my job, my basic salary, is what gives me security. Because it doesn't.
No.
Your job doesn't give you security. And that's one of the biggest problems people have, is they think that if they get a good job at a good big company, they are secure. But that gets taken away tomorrow.
In the blink of an eye,
yes,
everything can change.
So you need to go educate yourself on different methods. We talk about PSI and MSI. PSI is your primary source of income, and we're not saying, please listen, we're not saying go quit your job tomorrow, fire your boss and go start a business with your pension fund money. That's not what we're saying. We're saying is educate yourself on different methods of generating cash flow. So we talk about PSI, which is your primary source of income, and then MSI, which is multiple sources of income. And even if you only start these multiple sources of income with 1,000 Rand a month, or 2,000 Rand a month, or whatever the case may be, you need to start somewhere so that you can start slowly disconnecting what you do and what you earn from one another. Yeah. So the security you have in your income is the security you create for yourself. I know from where I've come, the years that I've spent, my business can close down tomorrow and I won't go hungry. I won't sit on the street and go, oh, but I don't get a salary anymore. I will be able to go and generate an income for myself within a month. And that's because the security I created for myself through my abilities, not through a company giving me a salary or a basic.
If we break this down even more, could it be broken down to something as simple as your primary source of income being your job that you go to 9 to 5, and then to start building multiple sources of income, it's what you do, like the people that maybe make their own preserves and stuff and go to a market on a weekend or whatever the case,
that's it.
Bake cakes.
Yeah. One of the things we talk about on the forum, the last session, is about introduction to becoming an entrepreneur. That's our last session we talk about. And we specifically talk about this. What is a transactional business? What is a transformational business? And most businesses get started as transactional businesses.
Yeah.
But you need to learn that once you start that business, your first thought must be, how do I convert this from a transactional to a transformational business? How do I convert it from a doing business, where I make the preserve, I bottle them, I go and sit there on the market, to something that I leverage, where I maybe manufacture, but I've got salespeople who sell. That kind of thing. But you always have to think on, how do I move my business from transactional to transformational? Because again, if you start a business and it's all transactional, it's just you selling your time for money again. And that's always going to limit you.
And it is, because, and that's the sad thing about what we get taught, is that is the way it works, is that you trade your time for money.
And we feel guilty if we get paid more than what we think our time is worth.
Yes.
So if we do something, we create something, and people start paying us for it, and we're not there every day working, we sort of feel guilty, because it feels like, but I'm not doing enough to justify the income that I'm earning. We need to move away from that It's not about you getting paid for what you do. It's you getting paid for the value you add. Whether that is writing a book and getting royalty fees for the next 20 years, you've added value. That is what it's about. It's not about the time and effort that you put in all the time. It's the value.